Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm the Mysterious JG. Snuck up on something that really needed to start its own video last time. Let's return to Michael, not Madrazo. Got the shades on, it's feeling pretty good. He's heading home. Perhaps he can avoid triggering. Well, I got a cool car locked up in there, but well, it's still there. Trying to avoid using the front door to avoid triggering a mission, but wondering if there's any other way to get into the house. If there's not, I don't see how poor Michael gets to save his game. Okay, well. We start with a moment between Michael and the
there
wife
you
here.
are. I feel like we haven't seen each other in forever.
You want to have some dinner later?
I'd love to, but you know, yoga waits for no one. Another time.
But I was trying to whatever. Oh, I read I was trying to I guess I was trying to figure out what mission unlocks what. That little side mission where we rescue her from the cops. Yeah, it doesn't do anything, but it does unlock like posts on Life Invader and stuff. Like there's this whole I did a tiny bit of this in GTA 4. I just can't bring myself to do it here. There's this whole thing where we can go onto Life Invader and visit the web and see stuff happening. This game doesn't have the girlfriends mechanic from prior games, which maybe just as well. Um, I think that got out of control in GTA 4, the girlfriends and friendships mechanics. But you can, as things advance, like the characters who are going to be part of your life, regardless of what you want, they will have Life Invader posts, and you can read on them. And it's mostly repeating the same things you already know about their feelings towards their parents. Like, what's his name? Michael's son. Yeah, he will be posting on Life Invader about how his mom almost got arrested. She almost got arrested. Isn't having one criminal parent enough? Blah blah blah. So I don't plan on really spending a lot of time checking any of that stuff out. But we got some hooch poured. A little day drinking going on.
Hey, there you are. What's cracking?
Like I said, it's kind of embarrassing to acknowledge it, particularly in this setting. Yeah, like I broke out the bourbon and coke a couple of nights ago because I had a big work victory to celebrate, but uh, yeah, didn't really think to try to organize to do it with anybody. I guess I could have done it with my ex-boss. I don't know. I didn't even think about it. It just came because I was teleworking the day that it all happened, and I just ended up getting some hooch because I didn't have any in the house. And yeah, here, but in this case, what's conflicting here is like you'd think there'd be a nice scene of us celebrating with Packy and the guy from Life Invader and the other guy, and even Lester. Like whether or not Lester actually likes Trevor and Franklin is an open question as the story progresses. But what makes it make sense they're not all getting together to celebrate is the fact that they all have to lay low and not be seen together. But then these two just like, yeah, let's just hang out.
Oh, we all
We're
good?
we're pro tags.
Hell yeah, we all good. We did.
Yeah, you fucking A right, we did. So, here's the shot. Lester's offloading the gems. He knows a guy. Get us 50 cents on the dollar. Hell, we might actually
I actually do like the relationship between Franklin and Michael. There's something sweet about the way that Michael's kind of is
So that's that, right?
like in all details it makes no sense. He keeps almost getting Franklin killed. He's the one who drags Franklin into all this craziness with Madrazo, etc. But like the pure like boil off the details of plot. This is a story about like this gangster whose family hates him, who finds the black son he always wanted. Like Franklin is looking for a mentor. We never hear anything about Franklin's father. We know his mother used to smoke. Um, yeah, but it's like this is a father-son tale. It's lovely to watch them together.
I hope so.
And then his weird uncle shows up.
Everything about it.
Not this
Anyone
guy.
who knows your file. What is wrong with you?
Davey!
You just wander right into the house. That's not a problem.
And what about Trevor? If that fruitcake realizes, no, finds out you're alive, you are
Fruitcake.
D-O-P-E fucked.
Don't worry about Trevor. Trevor's dead. Gotta be. Besides, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Whatever the hell it is you're talking about.
Huh? Really?
The criminals are believed to escape with millions of dollars worth of gems,
Oh.
precious stones, and engagement rings. Albert's story
I recognize this guy. He's the guy I used my catchphrase in front of.
Hey, you gotta move these bikes.
I don't know anything about that.
This other guy runs out of the
But this
shower,
is the important part.
says something like,
Not him having sex with the girlfriend from Lost and Damned.
make sure this is
Wait,
one of them.
what?
That's pretty scary.
Back to you in the
I just
studio.
spoke over it. Make sure you forget 100 things every day. Make sure this is one of them. And Trevor's like, I knew a guy used to say that.
Get lit now, sugar? Trevor, baby, you wanna smoke up now?
Don't do it, Johnny. Don't do it.
They mentioned the Lost in the new.
That girl again?
Oh, hey.
Speaking with you, asshole.
Don't do it, Johnny. I told him. Trevor.
So our new playable character is going to be Johnny Schneebitz.
Y'all get high, but that don't make it right.
Johnny, leave it!
The crystal has got us, babe, but don't make it right. Don't make nothing right. Not what you done with me.
I'm telling Johnny, leave it.
I ain't leaving nothing. Trevor! I'm talking to you, motherfucker!
Trevor, I'm the protagonist of this game. You better listen to me.
What are you saying?
Fucking my girl, man. It's wrong.
Oh, I gotta fuck someone. You want me to fuck you instead? Is that the problem here? Take off your
It
pants.
just deflates.
Let's fuck.
You think this is funny?
Get them off!
I told him to leave it, Trevor. I told him. Leave it. Leave it.
Shut up, Ron. I'm about to fuck me a meth head, ain't I, cowboy? Get my boy sucked from his toothless gums.
Fuck you, Trevor.
I'm not happy with you right now.
All right, cowboy. Hey, I know. Hey, come on.
I don't mean nothing by it, man.
I know.
I'm messed up.
I know,
Loyal.
cowboy. It's okay, man. Give me a hug.
Ow.
Fucking shit! Cut! Who the fuck are you speaking to?
So I don't think we're playing as Johnny Schneebitz.
Fuck! Johnny! Next time, don't get in my fucking face! I just saw a fucking ghost and I gotta hear your crap! Get up! Get up! Fuck you then!
So, yeah. So the first time I played this game, I had played maybe the first 2, maybe 3 missions tops of Lost and Damned. It had been years ago, and it was a game that I was playing on Friday nights with bourbon and Coke. I didn't remember it that well. I dimly remembered that the opening introduced these 2 redneck biker dudes. Well, not rednecks, really. I mean, these 2 biker dudes. Didn't remember that either one of them was Jewish. Just remembered that the plot involved the leader of the chapter getting out of prison and immediately getting into conflict with the new character and thinking, okay, yeah, this is there's a lot of tension right now, and being a little curious about the story. But for whatever reason, I just didn't go back and play it. I might have had like 2 play sessions with it, and then I just found something else that I was playing instead, and never went back to Lost and Damned until I was Let's Playing it all these years later. So the first time I played through this section in GTA 5, I don't think I realized who that was. I don't think I realized that was the protagonist of the past game. So now, like, I don't know how much to say about it. It kind of pisses me off, because playing through GTA 4 with you, General Viewer, my friends of the digital age, I mean, I had some, like, Economotos, I'm probably pronouncing your username wrong, and he and his wife would throw in some thoughts about that game. I got into that game. I ended up enjoying Lost and Damned probably more than Ballad of Gay Tony, where, like, the story just kind of, like, GTA 4 vanilla, just main story of Nico, probably one of the strongest stories in any of the GTA games, as far as, like, it's troubled by it's trying to do multiple endings and blah blah blah, but, like, as far as, like, Nico as a character, he comes off really strongly who he is. And by the end of Lost and Damned, like, I think one of the things that made Gay Tony not that great was that, like, I didn't really feel like we knew anything about the protagonist at the end. He was just kind of like this too cool for school. I remember he was supposed to be Dominican. He was supposed to be or Puerto Rican, but yeah, he was like this kind of too cool for school. And and there was not really a story about him. The story was kind of about Gay Tony, but like Lost and Damned was very much the story of. I kept calling him Johnny Schnabitz as a joke, but yeah, like Johnny Klebitz, that was a dude. Like he wasn't necessarily the most entertaining character of all time, but like I kind of felt like we knew who he was by the end of that whole thing, and that he was really affected by the way that motorcycle club fell apart. And like the story of him finally having to break off from Ashley because she was just dragging him down, and like he couldn't save her, but he couldn't get dragged down with it. Like it just seems like somebody made the decision, hey, we really want to get Trevor across as the new crazy psycho character. We have to do something shocking. I don't know how they pick. I feel like they had to pick somebody decided nobody would believe it if he just fucking straight out murders the protagonist of a prior game in his first scene. That'll really grab people. And I'm not arguing that it doesn't work, but hey, the first time I played through the game, I didn't know that's who this guy was, and I still was pretty well introduced to who Trevor was. Like, it didn't need to be Johnny. And yeah, it just kind of pisses all over, like, Lost and Damned. It's kind of like, okay, like, I don't like it when sequels, and I don't like it, and then maybe this is a sign of somebody who doesn't have a life and spends too much time living in video game worlds and movie worlds, but to me, this is like a lesser version of the Disney trilogy of Star Wars films, just completely undo Return of the Jedi. You know, the Emperor didn't actually die at the end. Vader's sacrifice actually meant nothing because the Emperor wasn't really stopped. That pissed me off. This is a lesser version of the same thing. It's like, okay, like you can play this game. There's a lot wrong with Lost and Damned. Like, I don't even remember the names of the gang members that you can hang out with in the weird mockery of the Friends game from vanilla GTA 4 that they included in that. Where, like, they felt like they needed to have the hangout mechanic exist, but it really had no point anymore because you always hung out with all four guys together. But, like, the mechanic where two of them actually rode with you on missions was really cool. I really liked that, even if I never felt like I got to know who those characters were. You had the one black member of the club who actually is killed in the story, but up to that point had been a good ally. Like, yeah, I like GTA 4. And it was, I made a couple of joking references to it along, but I tried not to openly spoil the fact that GTA 5 just decides, yeah, fuck it, Lost and Damned, fuck that. I feel like they honestly went through their protagonists and were like, nobody will even know who we're talking about if we get the protagonist from one of the mobile from GTA 1 or 2 or one of the mobile games. It has to be Claude, who is a mute protagonist from 3 and is kind of sacred now, or it would have to be Tommy Vercetti, and I think he was alive at the time. He's dead now, but it was like, well, we're not going to pay. No, I'm blanking on his name. The voice actor, mostly famous for Goodfellas, and I'm blanking on his name now. But like, yeah, it's like we're not going to pay him to come back and reprise the role of Tommy Vercetti just for him to get murdered. And CJ, like, they were trying to find somebody who's like somebody who people will be shocked, but they won't be too upset. And I think they came down to Johnny and the guy from Gay Tony, who now I don't even remember what his fucking name was, Luis. Yeah, they were like one of those guys, and I think they figured Johnny Schnabitz will be slightly more impactful than Luis because who the fuck cares about Luis at all? So we'll go with Johnny. And now I'm thinking back too, there was like a Game of the Year super awesome edition. I feel like somewhere along the lines, Rockstar decided they didn't like the Lost and Damned because they were all available as GTA 4 came out as GTA 4 starring Nico. They clearly had the overall plots of Lost and Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony already sketched out because all three protagonists, there are moments they all share in common, and they all happen in GTA 4 vanilla. So it's not like they hadn't plotted everything out in advance. But when they eventually re-released it on like on an actual disc that you could put in your PS3 or Xbox 360 later, they had a special edition where it was the main game packaged with Ballad of Gay Tony that didn't have Lost and Damned. Am I crazy? I'm pretty sure that happened. So somewhere along the line, they decided that they didn't care about Lost and Damned. So this scene, I think is kind of terrible. It doesn't make me hate Trevor. I might really resent Trevor as a character if I hadn't played through this entire game and came to feel the way I feel about Trevor without realizing what they did to set him up. But the worst part of all this is just the way Johnny acts. Like if Trevor had like jumped Johnny and like caught him off guard and just fucking wasted him, I don't think I would mind. But like they show that he's still addicted to Crystal, even though a big part of, I thought, the point of 4 was that, you know, some of his brothers betrayed him. He never betrayed his principles. He even ends up working for this like evil politician, but never just like, he just kind of like smirkingly does the jobs for the money, like killing people he also hates for this politician, but he never becomes that guy's lackey. And he kicks the drugs, and he ultimately can't save his girl, so he just decides he's going to let her slide into whatever she slides into, and he just has to cut off, which, like, okay, like maybe you could have a cheerier ending where he manages to save her too. But no, he had a character arc. In this game, we just see him, he's hopelessly addicted to drugs. His girl is getting fucked up the ass by Trevor. And, well, I don't know if it was up the ass or not. It was from behind. And then he goes to confront him, but apparently that's not even who he is anymore. It's like the moment where he goes and confronts Trevor is like the last glimmer of Johnny Schnaebit's action-adventure punk shining through. Because then what we see next is what he's apparently turned into. Where he just becomes sheepish and submissive and that whole scene, even more than the fact that he ends up on drugs, the parts where he's just like, I'm sorry, man, I fucked up. Like, he's apologizing to Trevor for having questioned the fact that Trevor was fucking his girl. Like, it wasn't enough for him to... They didn't just kill Johnny. They killed Johnny. They didn't just have the character get murdered. They just undid everything that he was supposed to have become over the course of his game. So I find this actually to be really sad. So, like, I kind of respect the fact that Rockstar was gutsy enough to take a chance and do something like this. But I really don't think it was a particularly good idea. I don't think they needed to do this at all. They tend to bring back characters from past games who are kind of like side characters and do silly comedies. Like, they apparently think that Love Fist was a lot fun, or the British promoter guy who hung out with them and the Jewish lawyer from Vice City were a lot funnier than I did, because they're the characters who come back in San Andreas. And I understand why they couldn't bring Tommy Vercetti back, and they obviously couldn't bring back Lance Vance. But yeah, this is just like, I don't know why they felt the need to do this, really. It's upsetting, but let's get on with the game, because we're gonna really get introduced to Trevor. We just did. What is Trevor about? He's about just brutally murdering some dude. So let's see where it goes from here, and if he's consistent, or if they do this as a way to shock us, and then Trevor turns out to be like, do they from this point forward take every fucking excuse to make Trevor not do this? Was this just a trick to get us thinking about how dangerous Trevor was so that he can be a pussycat for the rest of the game? We're going to see about that, too.
Wait.
Oh, Wade looked really fat when I had the game paused.
Fuck.
So he's not happy.
Now, we gotta speak to Johnny's recently bereaved brothers.
Because he at least realizes, now that I just murdered this guy, I got to deal with the rest of his gang, because
It will be soon.
it's no good to just leave this situation alone. You'll also see where we are on the map. So here's the ammunition, for example, that Franklin and Michael went to do their gun training. Franklin lives right around here. Michael's up here somewhere. The bank job, the heist job we did was kind of floating over here. Lester's down around here somewhere. Here's Trevor HQ. So it's pretty far away, although there is more north that you can go. But we're going to basically explore the other half of the map for a while.
This ghost I saw. His name is Michael Townley. Sounds like he's living in Los Santos. Find him.
Really? My cousin's there, but I don't...
Find him, Wade.
Does this mean I don't have to come see the bikers?
We're in a hurry, but not that much of a hurry.
But if we bury Johnny in the desert and then quiet down that bitch Ashley you was in...
Quiet her
then
down,
we
eh?
need to find out about it.
You think it's clever to disrespect women?
Disrespect? What? I wasn't disrespecting. I was just saying we should kill her.
Good point, Wade.
You called her a bitch. Ain't you got a mother?
Everyone got mothers, at least one.
So this is part of the fun of Trevor. He's like this psychopath. He just fucking brutally murdered a dude, and now he's like giving Wade a lecture about being disrespectful and the way he speaks to women. Like, not as a main plot thing, but as a minor abusement thing. We'll find out about his mommy issues. Anyway, I do remember failing this mission a couple of times the first time I played the game, so let's see if I've gotten any better. Well, okay, apparently not. The bikers were spooked. Didn't anticipate failing in that way. Well, let's just watch the Johnny Schnaebitz murder scene again, eh? Probably not.
The wheels are in motion.
Oh my god, we have to drive the whole rest of the... Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I guess we're about to find out if there's alternate versions of this dialogue.
Weasel News. More on the Rockford Hills jewelry store robbery.
Fame or shame is back.
Something deeply depressing about this entire setting. I'm not sure what this place is really based on. Like, are there areas in Northern California that look like this? Is this more of an outskirts of Vegas thing? Because it's based on real geography.
Hell, Trevor, you sure you're okay?
If you think you saw an apparition, there's a number of likely explanations.
But they do have a tendency to put multiple versions of every dialogue, so...
Releasing chemicals to control global warming. They'll try and control anything. It might have been the vapor somehow with the light.
Shut up! It was the ghost of Michael Townley, alive and well, taking the same scores, quoting the same dumb movies.
That jewel store job in Los Santos?
My cousin lives in Los Santos.
Yeah? Well, why don't you reach out to him? Find out who pulled this job and how the fuck Michael Townley came back from the dead.
We
out.
ain't got close. Because he's straight, you know, a longshoreman, good union job.
I don't care what the fuck he is. Find out who pulled the score. Scratch that. Find Michael Townley. It was him. Couldn't be anyone else.
Nobody else would say that dumb line. Okay, so don't get out of the truck until the story...
Genetically inevitable that I'll prove something real important, combining fashion, rap music.
I guess I'll take it. So Wade is a juggalo. I don't know if they ever refer to him as a juggalo, but that's what he is. He's riding in the back seat. Ron is a conspiracy nut. We never quite... Ron is kind of like Trevor's Lester, but we never see Lester and Trevor, or Lester and Ron interact as far as I know, which is a shame. Trevor kind of has his own little satellite of weird people that he associates with because we are going to play as him for a bit before we get all three protagonists to kind of have their paths cross, even though Trevor's mission now seems to be finding Michael. But they never quite integrate. Like Franklin and Michael... Well, no, that's not... Now that I think about it, Michael never has scenes hanging out with Lamont or whatever his name is. And Franklin will get to have scenes with Lester, which makes sense because the heist missions are a big start of the story. But we don't really see extended sequences of Franklin hanging out with, like, Michael's wife. So I guess it's not that unusual. But yeah, it seems like Trevor has acquaintances. There's, like, never any interaction whatsoever between them and the Los Santos characters.
I'm gonna take humanity to new places.
Whoa, whoa.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa. Hey, you seen Ashley? Johnny's looking for her.
Well, you know, as a matter of fact, I just did just 10 minutes
Now,
ago.
these
Yeah, I
these
saw
are
him
the
right
actual
there.
guys we hung out with in the last game.
Johnny ain't gonna be cool if you messing with her again.
Oh, really? Well, you don't think so, huh? Well, why don't we just ask him then, huh? Hey, cowboy, you mind that I fucked your old lady? Sorry. What was that? What? No, you don't mind? Oh, because you're a dead man? And the only sentient part you left is this little bit of brain and the gristle on the end of my boot? Well, thank you very much, cowboy. Bullshit! Oh, I like it, denial. That is for
Didn't really try to get the advantage of surprise here before attacking, did he? I shouldn't be interrupting like this, but yeah, like they go out of their way to establish what Trevor is meant to be about early. But no, I'm recognizing it now. I did not recognize this before. Their one friend died, and I think they switched. Like, I looked this up. I was curious about it. I looked this up when we finished Lost and Damned. He looks African American to me in this one, but one of the two guys who actually rides with you on missions, he becomes African American here. We just saw him on screen. Yeah, the two guys that used to ride with us on missions, if we got their friendship score high enough and called them for backup, they are two of the three guys we're talking to right now. So we're about to do a clean sweep. Like, I feel like when this mission's done, Trevor's going to hop on a plane, go to Liberty City, and murder the politician that gave us missions to do in that game, because there's not that many other characters from Lost and Damned who are still alive. I guess the guy who was in a wheelchair throughout Lost and Damned, he doesn't appear in this game. We don't murder him. I guess I shouldn't have spoiled that for you, but no, there's no mission where we go find him and murder him.
first part of the grieving process, brothers. Now let's all hold hands, huh? Well, looks like you got something you want to say, huh? You got something you need to say?
This better be bullshit.
Oh, where are you guys going, huh?
We don't even get to kill them here.
Oh, ladies. If that van takes us back to the camp, this area ain't gonna have a biker problem much longer.
Oh, I guess the idea is that we're...
Down he fell. Verified too. There's the other one.
So we don't want to take the van out. We're using this to get to their hideout, I guess.
Okay. Now we follow the van back.
Did you see the look on their faces?
No.
Scared of, didn't we?
Yeah, thank fuck they didn't make you for the harmless idiots you are.
You need some seatbelts back here, or straps, or something.
Easy
I
to
only
look
keep
stuff.
things in the back I don't mind losing.
Oh.
There's a lot of zany dialogue where he makes fun of his
Sharp left.
thugs, or his warriors.
I see us taking out all the bikers this go, boss. I mean, there'll be some by that airstrip, and some over, by that.
If not today, their time will soon be upon them.
Okay, so that's their way of saying we're going to have future missions dealing with these guys.
I thought you was letting them go to the.
Yeah, just throw a little fear into them.
If we go off the side on the left there, we should make it across.
Whoa.
I don't know why I followed his advice here, because I'm probably not going to make this jump now. Yeah, we're not going to make it. Why did I let him tell me to do this? Okay, we just barely made it. That was still stupid as hell. Stunt jump failed? What do you mean? We made it! Well, we weren't getting a gold medal. That'll be one of the gold medal conditions, but we clearly made it. I didn't think we were going to. We didn't make it
Which of you
looking good.
imbeciles wants to kill some bikers?
Right.
I got that thing with the banging and the Los Santos.
You know I'm not that good with
Oh, I guess it falls to me then. There we go. Come on.
Well, you kind of got us in the situation, Trevor. I mean, honestly. We're getting some good exploration in here.
That's it. Yeah, lead us back.
Well, at this point, they might have wisened up to what's happening and are not heading back.
I'll make my own Lost MC colors out of this brick's leather. Right down.
But yeah, the Lost MCs will be a hostile faction for the rest of this game.
You did it, Trevor. They're stopping.
Watch the entrance, boys. No one leaves without my express permission.
Okay, he's got a special ability. But I found this one, I had real trouble with this mission. I don't know if it's because I chose the wrong style for Trevor. Should be more aggressive, but... Oh, but that's my alarm going off, so we need to call it. When we come back next time, we are going to be killing members of this club, and hopefully I won't be making 15-minute speeches about Johnny Schneebitz. Johnny Schneebitz, action-adventure punk, you truly do deserve a kind of sad song like the one you get. There was never a man like our Johnny, like the one they called Red Matter at the bottom of Trevor's boot. Play it again. Red Matter at the bottom of Trevor's boot.